start with. What happened in 2023 is that we've created the app system. So going forward, especially in 2024, we're going to focus a lot on apps, and we'll explain the idea of Ignite Apps to you in this hour as well a lot, because it's something 2024 will focus on. We've made a lot of effort to bring you the newest Cosmos SDK version, which always comes with a lot of changes. I know it's a pain for developers as well that these changes constantly come in, but they're extremely helpful in securing your chain, in keeping up with the innovation around the ecosystem, and therefore we think it's a good priority to really keep up to date with the Cosmos SDK development and also provide these newest tools to you. Part of this is query and transaction auto CLI support that's also now with Ignite CLI. We are looking into ICS chains so that you can also host ICS chains and create ICS chains with your Cosmos SDK. And we've changed over to semantic versioning. This should give you a better indicator on news updates, and if you need to update, if it's a patch update, if it's a minor or a major upgrade, with the Ignite CLI, and indicates for you as well if you need to upgrade your blockchain. So this is all coming with 2023, and now welcome and happy new year to 2024. This is going to be an amazing year. Is my voice breaking up? I just got this.
Not at all, you're fine.
Okay, maybe Vishu, you need to check your internet connection. I think everything is fine. So yeah, welcome to 2024. We are going to look into more app-driven development. So we want to create more apps to help you, but we also want to enable you to create your own apps to be more efficient, more skilled in creating blockchains. We're going to focus a lot on community building efforts. So that means we want to strengthen the community of builders, of you guys, that you are more comfortable using the Ignite CLI, more comfortable building chains, but also maybe launching them in the future. So we think the best idea is to build a community of constant feedback that you can provide others, but also get from others, and have more directed discussions in our community channels. And for this, we have created a couple of new Discord channels for you to engage and discuss. I'm going to go into this later on. We are also going to prioritize even more community feedback. This is why we have this call, but also we are on Discord here for you all the time. Maybe it takes sometimes a little bit for us to respond, but we take all the requests very seriously. We are planning a couple of hackathons and testnet ventures for you, so keep an eye on this. One of the first hackathons will most likely be around apps, but also what I'm having in mind is kind of helping you build better testnets. This is something I'm working on as well, and hope that this will help support you testing out your just built blockchain. Also, we are placing a lot of efforts into smart contract technology. We want you to be able to build chains that support WASM, maybe even the EVM or GNOW. So we have a couple of things in the pipeline that we are researching and hope to bring to you soon. I forgot to mention something. In this community call, I'd love to kind of include the community and you guys. So if you have questions, if you have remarks, just raise your hands, and you can feel free to interrupt me. This can be a more open call than others. Coming to Ignite Apps, as I already mentioned, this is something we'll focus on a lot of in 2024. And with me, I have Frank Fox, who wants to display you a short introduction into apps, how to use them, and how to install them on your system. Frank, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Tobias. Here, just a moment. I am going to set up my screen for a screen share, just real quick. Just take me a sec. Okay. So here we go. Let's do this. Share now.
Meanwhile, Marian has a question. So while Frank sets up his system, maybe I can
Thank you.
go into this question.
Yeah, go ahead. It'll take me just a sec. Sorry about that. My apologies.
Yes, is there any plan to scaffold the IPC middleware, because recently it's popular to build the IPC middleware, but I think the current only support the IPC application build flags. Is there any plan to support the middleware scaffolding?
Which middleware do you mean?
IPC middleware.
Which one exactly? There's different, I think.
For example, similar to the packet forward modules, packet forward middleware. It's a little difference, the IPC application, so it requires different scaffolding functions. So it's curious for me, is there any plan to support such scaffolding with Ignite CLI?
Yeah, could you post this question in the Discord? Maybe in feature requests, and then I'll have a closer look. I can't answer this right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Frank, you ready to go?
Yes, I just attempted a screen share. Can you see it?
Yes. Floor is yours.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone. Just wanted to take a moment and show some new and exciting things we're doing with Ignite and show you some of the potential capabilities of the CLI. For those of you who know this already, please bear with me. This is just take a few minutes. Some of the simplest explanation of what Ignite apps are, they effectively allow for the CLI to upgrade its features and its functionality. So with that said, I'm going to install the Hermes relayer into a version of Ignite that does not have it. So step one, I've actually removed Ignite from the system. It's going to take me just a sec here. I'm going to go ahead and go to our website. Let me just open that real quick. I think you can only, please bear with me, I think you can only see the my current bash terminal open, but I'm going to get the, I just need to get one command, and then the rest should be fine. Here we go. I have the curl command. Just going to copy and paste that, and you'll see it on my screen just a sec. Thank you. All right. I'm going to clear that out, and I'm going to go ahead and install latest version of Ignite. And this will just take 1 second. It's installing version 28.11. And there we go. It's already in my user local bin folder. I can check and see if I've had the installation done correctly by typing in Ignite version. As you can see, I have 28.1.1 set in. Great. Now we're ready to get going. So first thing I want to show you is with Ignite, there's several subcommands. So if you type Ignite help, you'll see here the list of them there. One of those is relayer. So I do the same thing again. I type Ignite relayer and help. Well, looks like Hermes was actually already installed on because I installed it globally. So that kind of put a, don't know why that happened, but just in case. So if we go ahead and we go, if I go into our GitHub repository, let me just hop over there just real quick. Please bear with me. Just going to grab something really quick here. So, and this should help explain things. Here we are, coming back in there. So the point I really want to stress here is that you can add, if you could see this command here, Ignite app install, any functionality, if you want to add something to Ignite and improve its functionality, you can do so with by creating an app, and then it can be installed into your version of Ignite from GitHub. I can go ahead and do this, but it might just kick me back in error and tell me that it's already been installed. Apologize, I thought I had actually removed that. So, and then you can check that particular functionality. If you install version 28.1, you won't actually have that yourself. You can install it from our apps repo, which is on our GitHub repo. I'm just going to show you this just real quick. And if you add, the help flag is quite helpful, as it shows what specific commands. So as you can see here, here's the Hermes one, and you have the additional functionality that Hermes offers. And just to give you an idea here, so I think at some point what we would like to see is if somebody could scaffold, say for example, just going to copy and paste something that currently doesn't exist, but we would like to see exist, and that a community member could potentially build this someday. So for example, maybe somebody would want to scaffold the ability to use smart contracts with Ignite. I know right now there's a lot of people want to be able to use COSM WASM. So Ignite has the ability with apps to improve the functionality of the CLI. So here's an example of something that currently doesn't exist, but I think many people would love to see exist, is an app that would expand the functionality of the scaffold command, particularly to create a smart contract. You would then name it My Smart Contract. You could have different params for that smart contract, and then potentially have a flag, smart contract type. And this could be COSM WASM or maybe something else. So I think that if a community member was able to create that, we could potentially get that on our apps repo. And as you may know, the apps repo, we're planning to have some apps that are paid and others to be that will be free. But this is definitely something that I think would be definitely popular. And really, I think the sky's the limit. So people could use their imagination on ways that they could use this for launching. I believe Tobias is working on a way to do test nets. So anyways, that's sorry for the long explanation, but any questions on that? Otherwise, I'll hand it back over to Tobias.
Thanks a lot, Frank. Don't forget, you can just ask questions with raising your hand. I think I will reshare my presentation. Oh no, resume. There we go. Talking about apps, thank you, Frank, for showing how to install apps. I've also posted into Discord tips and tricks how to actually remove an app from your system. So if you want to do that, it's a tricky workaround right now. I'm sure we will have an uninstall command later on. Right now, you just remove them from your .ignite/apps/ignite apps YAML file, and then you can install it again. A couple of ideas. I want to throw out there a couple of ideas and directions I think apps could be going to, but there's, like Frank says, the sky's the limit. There's lots of ideas you can integrate apps for. In my mind, apps will help developers to build better apps, better Cosmos apps, and this is for the whole Cosmos ecosystem. So one very obvious idea, what we are already working on, we already have community submissions. It's just tricky with versioning. So with every new version, we got to kind of take everything again and try it out and test it. But smart contracts are totally coming with apps, so you can create your own WASM chain, that's for sure. That's already sitting on github.com/ignite/apps. Then also what Frank just showed, running relayers. We have started with an app that wraps around Hermes. There's other relayers, and I'm sure there will be more apps that either take on various kinds of relayers or various apps that you can install to either use the TypeScript relayer, the Hermes relayer, the Go relayer, or whatever is out there. I think Ignite apps can be extremely helpful in automated testing and benchmarking. so that if you're using smart contracts, so that they could deploy smart contracts, send transaction, or in general load the network, and then gives you some performance metrics to show how good your app is performing, or where you could tweak some parameters to get more transactions to your network. Something I'm also thinking about would be resource optimization analyzer, so that you know how much gas your transaction uses, how much storage of a block there would be, so how big your block should be, how big your gas thresholds should be, maybe even going to provide some fee metrics that would make sense for your chain, just so to help you to run your chain more efficiently. Also, since a lot of focus in Cosmos is obviously IBC, so we are considering interoperability testbeds that help you know that your chain is aligned with other chains in the ecosystem, that you can build connections and all of these in testnets, so you're already aware before you are launching a chain. In order to do all this, we're increasing our efforts to build a community of builders and developers, mostly for exchanging ideas, to give tips and tricks how to do what, how to work around a bug here, how to use best practices in general, what other, we are monitoring closely what all the chains in the ecosystem do, and what we can learn from that, how we can use this learnings to give it to you as chain builders. We're going to provide hackathons so that you can try out various things, maybe earn a couple of bucks along the way. And during all this, we are obviously here to support you, to give you also feedback when you're looking for it. And if you're running into bugs, we try to help you identify them and solve them. And if it's not immediately solved, we have a development team that would tackle these bugs and help you out. Also, a couple of ideas are around upgrade and maintenance. So how to upgrade your chain best. That's certainly something that's lacking right now, where we can improve a lot, but then also on maintenance. As you're aware, we have a lot of moving parts in the Cosmos ecosystem. And all of these are upgrading in different fashions and ways. So we are trying to keep it all together so that you have the newest Cosmos SDK releases, but then sometimes the relayers need to upgrade to this specific version. But a lot of chains in real life don't run on this version yet. So sometimes these upgrades come slower and have a couple of weeks maybe of pain points just with right now with the relayers, but we are sure working on help you out there and get everything back to work as soon as possible. Right now, you can run relayers. With the official Hermes relayer is probably the most battle tested, so this is what I would recommend. And this is already half an hour in. Most of the updates I wanted to give you. And I want to take some time and explore with you the chains that you are working on, or if you have any questions so far on what's coming in 2024, maybe you have ideas or requests or wishes for where Ignite is going. If not, I could throw out a couple of more ideas on apps before that, or talk a little bit about my tutorials, whatever the community right now needs as input for working better with the Ignite CLI.
I spotted a question on Discord just now. I don't think the person is here, but is there any plan to support IBC middleware scaffolding?
Yeah, I've answered to this question. I'm not entirely sure what this means. There is IBC middleware. So if you scaffold a chain and look into the app directory, there is an ibc.go file, and there is an IBC middleware included. I'm not entirely sure what IBC middleware scaffolding would do, and if a person cares to explain, then I could consider this more.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess that they're just wondering how, how does Ignite basically, if you scaffold a chain with Ignite, what does a person do to be able to get that to set up IBC connections with other chains, I think is what they're trying to. Yeah, I think people use a lot of different terminology to ask kind of the same thing, but
no, that
would be my guess. You know, how do they get those pipes open?
This is particularly a IBC middleware package, and we include it in the ibc.go file. If you look into there, there's IBC middleware, create IBC modules with IBC middleware. But maybe it's about using more of the IBC middleware package. Second, also checking. Discord. All right, I think we can continue with the IBC middleware packet on Discord and the discussion around this. Meanwhile, any other questions or remarks?
You had a question from Michelle in the side channel.
There's good tutorials or example working with chains on how gas operates on a chain. To be honest, I think gas is extremely under-researched in the Cosmos ecosystem right now. This is why I'm considering this is why I have these app ideas around resource optimization, because I think, well, there's one project which is Saga right now, which is, I think, the only Cosmos project I'm aware of who really makes the best of how they use gas on their blockchain. I'm sure a couple of teams really look into how much gas their transactions uses, but I doubt it's a big amount of chains that really care about this. Yeah, Josh is ending up needing the most under research pieces on the chain. That's a pain. But yeah, I'm. Let me see if I've. I don't think I've ever written something about this. Frank.
Yeah, if I could chime in on that, and miss a maybe embarrassing question to show how little I know on that subject. But like, for example, I've scalpeled a chain and I gave it like 1 trillion coins, and there was a portion when submitting the transaction where it's set fee, and I set a fee to submit a custom transaction or a wallet exchange at 1. And so, my wallet, say I started off, I had 10,000 tokens, and I did a transaction that was a custom transaction, and I charged myself 1 because I couldn't set it any lower than 1. It just wouldn't allow me to do that. It would show that there was gas, but then when I check my balance after only 1 had been deducted, so it's treating it like gas is not anything related to the token or monetary base, which I think is a little confusing when you compare it to gas for submitting an Ethereum transaction, which is in GUI or however you pronounce that. So I'm just wondering if how do you, when you set up, and sorry if I'm not trying to ambush you with a question here, but when you set up your chains or whatnot, is when you're paying for gas, are you paying that out of your native token, or are you paying that, or is that something else? Because I think those terms yeah.
How this works is your chain your Cosmos chain always runs on validators. And if you scaffold a chain with Ignite, you can specify validators in the config file, but most of the time it will just be Alice. And Alice, as the only validator, can set up gas price minimum in their config.yaml file. If you have a chain with multiple validators, each of them can set their own minimum gas price. And now you as a user come along and post something, and it needs to confirm, like it needs to be at least higher than the minimum gas price set by one validator. So one of them can let your transaction in for a cheaper price, let's say. Now you, as the user, have various flag commands available. You can use -- fees, which would be a concrete number of tokens. Remember, in the CLI, you're always using, for example, U stake. This U is for mu. That's 100,000ths of one token. So for atom, this would be usually of one atom. One mu atom would be 100,000. One atom would be 100,000 mu atom. So you would write -- fees, for example, 100 U atom. This would be 0.0001 atom eventually. And you can either use as flag -- fees and have a concrete value, or you can use -- gas and -- gas prices. So then it would calculate how much gas to use for your transaction maximum. This is the gas flag, and how much to pay per gas amount in U atom. It's a bit tricky, but you can have it auto-calculate how much fees you're going to pay, and just use a kind of strict fee for your transaction. Most of the time when you scaffold with Ignite CLI, I don't think it has a min fee. So
yeah, that's where I think it was confusing, but maybe I can work with you to put together a tutorial on explaining that someday. So thank you for answering my question. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure.
Oh yeah, Michelle asked about insights on tutorials coming in the pipeline. I know you've got quite a few. Maybe if you wanted to.
Yeah, I can share them. I can share them on Discord actually. Yeah, I can just share them on Discord. I can also share them in here. So these are currently hosted on HackMD. This is because it's still in brainstorming phase and not everything is complete and works, but I think all of the tutorials in here do work. But some of them don't lead to kind of a full blockchain in the end, but are still a bit more in brainstorming mode, but feel free to check them out. I'm posting them in what channel? Maybe just discussions or random. What would be build apps? Okay, this is without much further explanation right now. If someone wants to kind of set the tone, maybe. Quickly. Okay, sorry for the delay. Okay, I've posted more tutorials on the Discord. I can quickly show you. I've shown this, I think, in the last community call already. So my idea behind these tutorials is mostly to provide a lot of insights into first how to build modules, how to get to know the Ignite CLI, how to make most use of the Ignite CLI. But I'm also kind of very interested in the journey that app developers and Cosmos SDK have. So first, you gotta learn about surely Ignite CLI, then you've got to learn about how to build modules. Then you're probably very interested in how IBC works, how you connect to other chains, how to make use of the whole ecosystem. And then surely you want to professionalize and write write proper tests so you always know that your chain does what's expected, but also how to maintain a blockchain, which is a very complex topic in decentralized ecosystem, if you want to be decentralized. There are so many different actors that you want to include and help to run your chain professionally. There's a lot of information that you probably want to give out, how validators and users spin up nodes, how validators maintain upgrades. So these are topics I also want to cover in these tutorials, so you're well prepared for the outer world as well, not only for within Ignite CLI and ecosystem. I want you to regularly build testnets out of the chain that you're building, so you know how this. So you kind of have tested how all this works before going public first time. So just to give you a lot of learning experience along the way. And try to give you the information that you need to build a good blockchain and then also launch it. These tutorials right now are more actually just for the community. We are not advertising them outside. As said, they are brainstorming phase, so you can learn before anyone else on these things, and kind of exclusive right now. I'm not sure if we ever will really publish them like officially, or if that's some kind of information more for the community only, so that you know why you're using Ignite CLI and actually get to build the best blockchains out there. Feel free to dig around, feel free to give me feedback. There's a couple of new concepts I'm also exploring, like for example, oracles for external data feeds. There's a couple of oracles out there, but I think there can be more done in a lighter way, actually, for very slim blockchains. Oracles right now try to solve them all, and I think that's not necessary. But yeah, so check this out and feel free to give me feedback if you find something disturbing or appreciate that. Frank, yes.
Do you mind if I shamelessly promote the Dev.to tutorials?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just gonna, just for those of you who don't know, we have a new, we've created a Dev.to handle for Ignite, and there's some really basic tutorials on there, and we'll be adding more to that. So if you're new to Ignite and you want some simple walkthroughs, there's some of them here. You'll also find plenty on the Ignite docs, which I'll share the link to that as well. For those of you who don't know about the tutorials on our website, our official website as well. Plus we have our blog posts, so we've got quite a bit out there. But we're really interested to hear your feedback. So if you try any of these, please do share. So I'll hand it back to you, Tobias.
Thank you, Frank. Yeah, so this was my part about updates, what we're working on, what we are focusing on in 2024. And if you have any questions, let me know now. We try to answer them as good as we can. Else, we are available for you on Discord. Not only for Ignite-related topic. If you have other development-related topics, totally fine. To discuss this also in the Ignite CLI channel, especially news around the Cosmos ecosystem. Something I'm quite excited about is currently the Rust WASM implementation from Confio. CosmWasm is extremely popular in the Cosmos ecosystem right now, and there was another approach though a couple of years ago called Ethermint, which has taken its blockchain into EVM, but EVM Evmos. Evmos is quite restrictive with their tech, but it seems like Ethermint is getting a lot of attraction these days. I've seen Ripple, for example, create a sidechain approach with Ethermint EVMs built on Cosmos. I see other chains starting to use Ethermint EVM, and this gives me great hope that we can also have an Ethermint EVM with Ignite maybe this year. just something very exciting that's happening, apart from obvious developments that you see around, which are rollups and other ideas how to kind of not have everyone necessarily need to launch their own chain, but you can still build with Ignite CLI, but then, for example, build with Celestia and build your chain on there, so you don't have to build the whole validator set yourself. So there's a lot of ideas how to make the life easier for users, which I'm really, really looking forward to in this 2024. Yeah, Michelle.
I'd be interested looking at the tutorials, just hearing briefly what your ideas for the Ignite microservices tutorial and that idea.
Yeah, thanks for asking. The Ignite microservice idea is very, very much in its children's shoes, you would say in German. It's a very early stage idea, but in my mind, Ignite CLI scaffolds you a complete stack already. So if you do a simple Ignite chain scaffold, then you have a basic blockchain that operates extremely well with a key value store. And so you have already backend included, you have networks included, and you can immediately kind of start mapping out the idea for information that you want to store in the chain with one other command, and then already upload it and use it. So that's 2 commands, 10 minutes to build a basic chain. And I've been thinking about how to make use of this with creating microservices that kind of take information from for example, payment providers and let them flow directly into the Cosmos stack, your Cosmos chain, which can then be accessed by other chains via IBC. So this could be a combination of using oracles with microservices, but also payment services or other ideas. I think it could be extremely strong also for supply chain initiatives. But yeah, it's still very early. Thanks, Michelle, for putting me on the spot with this. And yeah, I hope this year will bring some answers to this. To Vishu, I've shared my tutorials in Build Apps channel on Ignite Discord. Oh, it's actually wrong. Build Apps is the wrong channel. I need to... Build Apps is for applications. So it should be in Build Chains. I didn't write yet about apps. Okay. All right, any questions?
I'd be really curious to hear from the community if there's anyone who's willing to share what you're working on or what challenges you face or what you'd like to see. We're super interested to get feedback, so please do share and please do not be shy. Well, Karchit, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. You've definitely come to the right place. Please, there's no dumb questions. Feel free to ask anything on Discord later. I recommend there's a link to some of those beginner tutorials that I sent. Some of the stuff Tobias puts out is a bit more advanced. So feel free to try those. And if you run into hiccups, let us know what the issue is. It's likely either myself or Tobias have faced that problem in the past.
Actually, when I'm reading that Vishu is working on mix of Cosmos plus zero knowledge proofs, is in the tutorials there's one on decentralized identity verification, and I've used an extremely stupid hashing of the information, which is where zero knowledge proof would be the obvious and much more robust candidate for identification on a chain. So if you wanna test out your zero knowledge proof skills against this one and improve it, that would be cool. But yeah, it's just something. I've for the tutorial I've chosen the simple way because I wanted to highlight how Ignite CLI works and not so much on zero knowledge proof, but would be really cool to get that into the tutorial actually. Okay, if there's no further questions, I think we can continue all the conversations on Discord. I've had a lot of fun with you today in the community call. I'm sure on the next one we have more updates already, and I hope maybe already a set date for hackathons that we're working on. Maybe you've noticed the small little character on the slides in the top right, which I've created just for you. This is Blocky. It's just my emotional support guide for today. And yeah, thanks for coming everyone, and I'll see you on Discord. Oh, we have a new participant in the last minute, but I'm already wrapping up. Thanks everyone, and see you hopefully on Discord, and let's discuss on there.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Tobias. Great job.
Thanks everyone.